What's going on, guys? This is Joe Young coming at you with another video for the week. So this week I'm going to give you guys an update on the progress I'm making so far in setting up all my tanks again. So this week I do need to do some water changes on a couple tanks. And in the very first week of moving into this house, I did run into an issue with some of the faucet. So the faucet that's set up currently in the new house, obviously it doesn't fit any of the standard adapters to the Python. Well, that's just one thing because I can kind of rig it where it will fit, and that's how I did it with my old house. So the issue here is the faucet brand for this model, for whatever reason, doesn't have any back pressure, I guess. So if you turn on the faucet, for example, and then you hold your hand against the faucet to kind of like block the water flowage, what you notice is some models will kind of just continue to kind of push water out. So it's kind of bad because then you can have back pressure, it can bust a pipe or whatever. But for this model, I guess the safety design is the water gets flooded backwards and it gets dumped into, like, I don't know, there's like an open valve somewhere on the faucet, so it just gets dumped to the ground. So when you hook up a Python in here and you kind of do this rig adapter to it, it has too much back pressure where it actually just dumps the water back onto the ground, so you just have water all over the floor. So right now I need to find probably a better way to do water changes. Probably my only method right now is just filling it up with the hose, but I can't really control the temperature, so I need to kind of just dump in some hot water here and there just to kind of even it out. So in the last video I did set up the Planet tank in the living room. So right now I just wanted to show you guys a few clips of the plants kind of just bouncing back, especially it was all like bent and just jacked up when I actually put it in there, just because a lot of the plants was just floating on a temporary tank, and then once I put it in there it just looks really jacked up. But as you can see here, the plants are slowly bouncing back, it's straightening out, and it's starting to grow a lot better. I've been still trying to dial in the CO2 for the system. It takes a couple of days, obviously I need to tweak it, monitor it, make sure it like does the thing correctly, and then I'm tweaking it basically every other day. So probably in the next couple of days here it'll be dialed in, and this tank will probably just run as is for a while, and it's still cycling. I did check the parameters after a week, and the ammonia levels of course is still like 4.0, super high, and yeah, we'll probably give it another week or so to cycle. So this week I wanted to try to find out some other things I can do to try to make some more progress in terms of setups, because right now I'm literally waiting for that Planet tank to fully cycle, switch out the fish into that, and then that way I can set up another Planet tank in the room. But since I'm just kind of waiting around right now, I decided to kind of work on the Planet Reef tank that's inside as well. Obviously I can't really do everything completely just because two of the tanks are being used right now to house the saltwater fish. So I need those in place to plumb correctly, I guess, to measure everything correctly. So I can only really do, I guess, the second half of this tank where it's the 33 gallon and below to the sump. So for this week I wanted to go ahead and set up some of that plumbing and kind of get that out of the way, because it's going to be a lot of cutting and a lot of gluing PVC. It's a whole ordeal, to be honest, to do all that. As you can see here, the plumbing is pretty much done for the mid tank and below. I was really debating in terms of should I plumb the pump, the return pump, all the way up as well, because I was using basically clear tubing for a lot of my setups, and it seems to work just fine. And I was actually debating if I should do that or not. I think I want to probably try to do a hard plumb for this one as well, all the way up, just to kind of keep it nice, just because it looks so nice. The purple color looks really nice. With that said, I do need to order some more pieces just because I decided to do that route, and because I'm doing that route I need to order some 3/4 inch PVC pipes instead of 1 inch. So yeah, so I'll place the order this week. It'll probably come in next week, where I'll probably pick it up again next week. And hopefully by next week, everything will be cycled where I can actually transfer the fish in, and you'll get to see the fish move into the tank, the Planet tank. But I actually may want to wait on that because I want the plants to establish a little bit better to make sure that they root. Just because, when you add in fish, and especially plecos and whatnot, I'm going to add plecos in there. they're going to uproot a lot of these plants, right? These plants need to take hold early, and it takes them, you know, a couple weeks to kind of establish and grow correctly. So I might end up waiting maybe up to 3 weeks to let the plants kind of establish in and root in correctly. So I'm super excited to start up the Planet Reef tank again. I was kind of lazy, to be honest, on the last couple builds of the Planet Reef tank. Really wasn't keeping up with those, and really not putting enough livestock in there to kind of keep them up. So I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that when I do set this up, I get the correct stocks in place, and then also try to divvy up some of the plants, or the macroalgae, I'm sorry, to see, you know, what grows well and what doesn't grow well. Alright guys, and that is the update for the week. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's update. If you guys aren't subscribed yet, make sure you guys are subscribed. And like always, until next time guys, peace.